All right, let's talk about the future, specifically your future. We're going to build a 10-year roadmap for your tech career. So if you're working in DevOps or security or platform engineering, think of this as your guide to staying not just relevant, but totally essential for the next decade. So let me ask you something point blank. Is your career built to last? I mean, really, the tools we use, they change every couple of years, but the actual principles behind our work, those are evolving even faster. We've got to figure out if the skills we're building are pointing us toward the future, or if we're running the risk of being automated right out of a job. And this right here gets to the absolute heart of it. This is the big idea for this entire explainer. See, there's a huge difference between automating a simple task like running a vulnerability scanner and architecting an entire system that automates trust itself. One's a task. The other, that's a career. That's exactly where we need to be aiming. Okay, so let's dive into this evolution, because to really understand where we're going, we've got to have a clear picture of where we've been and where we are right now. This isn't just a random series of changes. It's a very clear progression moving through distinct eras. And here it is, the whole journey on one slide. We kicked things off with the foundation, DevOps. We're living in the present of DevSecOps. What's coming up next, in the next 3 to 5 years, is all about trust automation. And the ultimate destination, the end game, a role in what's called autonomous governance. This is our map. Now, this is what I find so fascinating. This slide shows exactly how our responsibilities are shifting. In the DevOps days, we built the pipelines, and the machines just executed them. With DevSecOps, we configure the tools, and the machines do the scanning. But look at the future. The human job becomes defining policy and risk, and the machine's job is to enforce it and prove it. And eventually, our role is to govern entire systems that can basically predict problems and heal themselves. Our job literally moves from doing the work to defining the rules for the work. So, let's start at the beginning. Phase 1, DevOps. This is the foundation. You absolutely cannot skip this step. The whole point here was to automate delivery so we could get speed and stability. But in this world, security and compliance, they were slow, manual, and usually tacked on at the end. Which, of course, brings us to today, DevSecOps. This is the baseline for the market right now. We've shifted security left, right? We've embedded all this automated scanning right into our pipelines, and it's a massive improvement. But, and this is a big but, it's still reactive. We find a problem, we fix the problem. Governance and actual compliance, that stuff is still a manual, document-heavy bottleneck. So, that brings us to the next horizon. We have to move beyond just automating security checks. We need to start automating trust itself. This, right here, is the career safe zone for the next 3 to 5 years. So, you're probably asking, okay, how do I actually do that? Well, it comes down to these 5 core skills. First, policy as code. This is all about replacing manual approvals with automated guardrails. Second, risk engineering. You gotta move beyond simple pass-fail and start making smart, risk-based decisions. Third, compliance architecture. This means you understand the logic behind frameworks like ISO 27001, not just memorizing the checklist. Fourth, evidence automation. Automatically generating the unchangeable proof that auditors crave. And finally, number 5, thinking about eGRC integration. Designing your systems so they can talk directly to the company's big governance platforms. And this quote just nails the mindset shift we're talking about. We have to stop being the people who click the approve button. We stop being the people who just run the tool. We become the architects. We design and build the automated systems that prove they can be trusted, right from the start. All right, let's zoom out to the far future and see where this is all headed. In about 5 to 15 years, this whole evolution leads to a brand new, super high-impact role, the Autonomous Governance Architect. And listen, this isn't science fiction. It's just the logical conclusion of automating trust at a massive scale. Now, does this mean AI takes over and we're all out of a job? No way. Absolutely not. The human role actually becomes even more critical, but it shifts up to oversight and strategy. We're the ones defining the ethical lines for AI. We're handling the legal challenges, owning the final call on accepting risk, and leading the charge when a real crisis hits. We are literally governing the governors. The AI is a tool that helps us govern. It doesn't replace us. Okay, so that's the roadmap. Now, how do we actually get there? Let's get practical. This next section is your guidebook. It's a clear strategy you can start using today to future-proof your career. Rule number 1, and this one is the most important. Stop optimizing for tools. Seriously, tools come and go. Principles are what last. The old way of thinking is, I know how to use tool X. The future-proof mindset is, I know how to design a system of preventative controls that satisfies a specific regulation, and I don't care what tool I use to do it. See the difference? Rule number 2, learn to think like an auditor. Auditors ask these really simple but really powerful questions. What's the rule? Is it always followed? Can you prove it with evidence nobody can tamper with? And can you show me a clear paper trail for any exceptions? If you can build systems that answer these 4 questions automatically, you're building the future of compliance. Rule 3 is all about people. Your greatest value, the thing that makes you irreplaceable, will be your ability to translate between different worlds. You need to become that person who can explain a technical risk to a lawyer, a legal requirement to an engineer, and the compliance status to a C-level executive. That is a human skill that AI is not going to be replicating anytime soon. And finally, rules 4 and 5. First, when you're showing off your skills, go deep, not wide. One deep, realistic project is worth way more than 10 shallow ones. Show you can connect the dots between policy, risk, and evidence. And second, brand yourself for the job you want. Start moving away from titles like Security Tool Operator and towards things like Trust Automation Engineer or Governance Automation Lead. Trust me, titles matter a lot in senior hiring. So as we bring this home, let's focus on the final truth. In a world with more and more automation, what is the core of the human role that will always, always be valuable? It all comes down to this: final accountability, ownership. An AI can help, it can recommend, it can even enforce a rule, but it cannot own risk. It can't make the final call on a policy. It can't provide ethical judgment or lead a team through a crisis. These uniquely human skills of ownership and judgment, they're about to become more valuable than ever before. So if you take just one thing away from this explainer, let it be this simple progression: DevOps, automated delivery; DevSecOps, automated security. The very near future is all about automating trust. And the long-term future, that's about governing autonomy itself. The only question left for you is, where on this journey are you going to choose to lead?